Hey guys, Heidi Easley here, Texas Art and Soul, and I just want to talk to you about God and business and your paint parties and 3 different things that I want to bring to your attention and also answer some questions about supplies. Yesterday, we just released the first video of Paint Party Revolution. It is a 3-part series, and the first one was all about supplies. So I'm going to take a few minutes tonight. I know it's late, but I was at a comedic church event I got invited to. It was hilarious. Oh my gosh, I'd never been to one. It was really funny. So I'm going to take a few minutes to talk and answer questions, but I'm also going to talk about the 3 things I think on how you can bring God into your business. We are also going to be giving away one of these, a blank one that you can paint from Craft Creations. So thank you, those of you that are sharing. I'm watching to give somebody some happy mail, okay? So I wanted to also show you where you can go to get the first video. So if you go to Texas Art and Soul, if you have not seen the first video, guys, it's only going to be around for about 8 days. That's it. And then I take those 3 videos that have a crap load of information. I take them off the interweb, okay? Right now it's being hosted on my blog, which links to YouTube, but then I will actually shut that down after this week. So if you have anybody crafty or artsy or thinking about doing paint parties, make sure you tell them about it. So tag them in it. So just from Texas Art and Soul, you'll be able to go to my page. If you go to my page, you can see it's gonna come up this big old blue sign. Sorry, guys. Okay, so you'll see right here, it's a huge, that's my website, right? So when you go to my website, if you go to blog, this is where I'm gonna post these the next few days. And if you have, if you don't have, you know, my information, it should be coming by email because I'm sending you a lot of goodies over the next week. On Monday, and let me know on here, thank y'all for sharing, by the way. On here, who has already watched video 1? And it's called Paint Party Revolution. It's here. Has anybody already watched video 1? Let me know if you have. Okay, so, and I'm also going to be painting a sunflower. So if y'all want to hang out with me for a little bit to paint a sunflower. So video number 1, so I was getting a lot of questions and I'm going to go over some of those. Oh, yay, good job. Did y'all find some good information? And if you did you have any questions? Let me know, because I'm going to go over some questions here in just a minute. And then we'll go from there. And then also, guys, the questions I was getting, I really felt like I needed to bring out the Jesus calling. Y'all know, any of y'all that know me, if you're new to me, say new. Or if you're watching this as a replay or live, please put replay or live. Anytime, like me and my daughter always do the kids Jesus calling, and even if I wasn't doing it with her, I would still do the kids. Because here's the thing with God in our business. Now I'm going to be painting a sunflower while I talk about this, and then I'll read what I found that might help some of y'all. Because a lot of y'all, even in the, my floor is a little uneven. Even in the supply, I don't want to get paint on my Bible. I'm going to put it right over here. Even in the supply section, I was getting a lot of comments about people who were just really scared to start. You know, like just that fear of imposter syndrome. Does anybody have that? Just do a like or a heart. If you ever feel like you've had that, like, I'm not good enough. Why would people listen to me? Like, why would they think I'm okay? And let's see, Londa says, I did a little nervous about contacting restaurants. Yep, you better do it. Oh, the next one on Monday is all about that. So excited to see y'all do that because we have some people who make huge strides during that one. Okay, I'm going to be painting a sunflower. Again, if you do not have the free ebook yet, the link is in the description. It looks like this. Let me show you. And for those of y'all that don't know me, I should have introduced myself. Sorry about that. My name is Heidi, and I teach women all over the world how to teach paint parties. Not only teach them, but how to make money at teaching paint parties. I am all about a profit every party. That's what I teach, a profit every party. So download this ebook if you don't have it yet. The link is in the description. I sell it for $17 on my website, but you can get it for free for watching tonight. And then I'll have a link to the Paint Party series that just launched, and I'm going to be painting a sunflower while we're talking, because I want to go over some of these things about God and our business and how we can really just utilize. So some of y'all, just, give me a heart or a like if you agree with some of this. So what I've noticed is that a lot of times, and I am using this yellow. This one is a Deco Art Primary Yellow and some white. I'm just putting a little bit of white in there. But the first thing I wanted to tell y'all is you need to pray for opportunities. Now, I have said this, and I have said this, and I have said this, but I think some of y'all hear it, but then you're not listening, or you're not taking the action step of actually praying for opportunities. Let's put this about right here. We're just gonna kind of do a little circle, not perfect. But what I noticed is that anytime, I'm like, okay, I'm not sure what's going on, my calendar's not full with paint parties, I start to just pray for opportunities, for God to show me opportunities. Does anybody on here do that? I just think it's so important to always remember that He's in control, and whatever path, whether you're doing this paint party business full time, or you're retired, or you are a stay-at-home mom, or maybe you're working full time and you're just doing one a month just for some extra vacation money, whatever the case may be, I think it's so important that you remember that God is in control, okay, no matter what. And I'm just doing kind of football shapes here, and I'm going to fill them in here in a second, and I'll show you a little blending technique. I think it's so important just to remember God is in control of all of this, and to just follow His lead. So number one is praying for opportunities. So if you agree with that, if you'll do a heart. And number two, choose a word and then reflect on that word. So for example, did anybody choose a word of the year this year? I know we're in May, but I'm still using the word. Every year I choose a new word. And I started doing this about 4 years ago. And anytime I'm like, it's kind of the word that directs me, right? So my word of the year has been obedience. And I feel like God clearly told me to not drink this year. So I am not drinking. I vowed to not drink all of 2019. Not really wanting. It wasn't like, oh, I'll just do this. It was like God was telling me, you better not drink this year. And so, and I'm not like a heavy drinker, but I do like a glass of wine, and I do like to have a beer. And it was really a challenge those first few months. Now I'm okay, but it really was, something I would think about. But my word of the year is obedience. So I wanted to make sure. So I think for God in business, number one, pray for opportunities. Number two, pick a word and then, think about that, pray about that, and know what that's going to mean for you and your business. Right now, guys, I'm just getting a coat of yellow. In a second, I'm going to kind of blend this. And then those of you that are just joining, 17 on my website, but you can download it right now and link in the description. And I teach women how to make money teaching paint parties. So let me know if you're interested in teaching paint parties. Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. And then in a second, I'm going to go over some questions on supply. So if you have any questions, let me know. And then number three, put God first, okay? And using your talents to share God's love through art or whatever it is. So if you're watching this, you probably have hopefully a slight interest in painting, because that's really what I'm all about, paint parties and painting and creating. So what I want you to think about is, maybe you're a really good encourager. If you're a really great encourager, you don't have to be the best painter to teach a paint party. And that's what I was noticing right over here. I have my computer. That's what I was noticing on a lot of these comments. So I'm going to read you one of the comments. Christy says, thank you, Heidi. My biggest struggle is my anxieties and my huge overthinking things. So Christy, I hope you watched my Facebook Live yesterday. If those of you are struggling with any anxieties, oh my gosh, yesterday I went into a lot of detail about how I really have trouble with anxiety, and how when I start to put my attention on taking action and getting ready for the paint party versus thinking about it, my anxiety starts to go away. Also, when I start to really think about the people and start praying for them, things like that, it really starts to go away, and I have this calm and this peace about it. You know, teaching paint parties isn't for everybody. But if you are a person who's like, yeah, really, my husband's working extra, or maybe now you're a single mom, or whatever the case may be, and you're crafty, you don't have to be a fine artist. If you're crafty, you're teaching beginner paintings. Like right now, this is not rocket science, okay? This is not fine art. It's just a fun, happy little sunflower that I'm about to blend some colors with, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. But you have to remember that when you start to put your attention on other people, and you remember, it's not about us, okay? If we always worry about what people think, the other day I was on a Facebook Live, and there was some, meanie person saying some things about mermaids, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna have to block you, because he was just being mean, and people are gonna do that no matter where you're at, whether you're online, whether you're doing a paint party. And I'll tell you a funny story about a guy at a paint party. Okay, so I added jack-o'-lantern orange. And then also, those of y'all that are sharing, thank you. Craft Creations is going to be donating one of these. She's going to be mailing, Melody, one of the owners, she's going to be mailing one of y'all one of those for sharing. So thank y'all. We really appreciate the shares and the comments and all of that good stuff. All right, let me see if there's any questions before I go on to the next thing. I don't want to turn it off. Okay, Amanda says, I had the same revelation this week. I had to sit quietly with myself, listening for his word to come to me. Trust was a word that kept coming to mind. Yes, trust is a great word. I think every year, the last, few months of and I'm just going over this, as y'all can see, with a little bit of orange. And I'm going to put some gold on it here in a second. Who on here has painted a sunflower before? Has anybody painted a sunflower before? And I'm just kind of blending them together. Am I the only sunflower painter? Yeah, usually about the last 2 months of the year, I start kind of thinking and praying about the word of the year. Because last year my word was adventure. The year before we had a lot of really bad health and really crazy challenges. My dad ended up getting a heart transplant. I had heart trouble. All of these crazy things were happening. I had to get a device put in my heart for a hole they found. My dad's heart transplant, just all this kind of weird stuff was happening. And so that next year we were like, okay, I was like, I am choosing adventure. I'm like going to be, just having fun, being crazy. Because, sometimes you get a year that's just sucks, and sometimes you get a year that's just amazing, and then sometimes you have a year like this year. Mine's all about discipline. I have this little Bible study I'm about to do. I do lives all the time, but it makes me nervous when I'm like, really, God, you want me to do a Bible study? Really? Because I don't feel like I'm good enough. I feel like that imposter syndrome that a lot of y'all are telling me in these comments. I have this imposter syndrome. I didn't grow up in a church. I grew up in public school. I, when I go to a part of the Bible, I have to look in the table of contents. I use the kids' Jesus calling, like literally, I use that with my Bible. So, I have a lot of that imposter syndrome come up. But how many times do, in the Bible, does God use the people that are, that usually would, you would not normally use, right? He uses the people that you totally think like, it's not the right, the right person, or you would think, oh, that person should never do that. But I think God picks these people on purpose, the ones that are broken, the ones that have had trials, the ones that have, done all of these things. But, we can sit and waller in what's happened to us, or we can move forward and serve God and show God's love through art or whatever passion we have, and move on with our life, and then we go back to another word, like next year. Hopefully my word's like crazy fun. Let's see. Not that obedience hasn't been fun. It's just been very different this year. Oh, Nana says put a bee on it. Okay, so Terry says, my last party, I did a blue daisy, but kind of like a sunflower. Oh, that's awesome. How many people did you have? Amanda says, oh my gosh, I had a closure in 2016 too. Oh my gosh, so you have like the little metal parachute thing in your chest as well. That was a freaky surgery, wasn't it? You were on are you on milk right now in Bible study? You are on the milk right now in Bible study? What does that mean, Nana? You are on the milk right now in Bible study. I don't know what that means. If it's like the date, sometimes we're not exactly on the date. I went back because after reading these comments, I'm going to go on this real quick, and then I'm going to finish this sunflower a little bit. I'm going to show you some metallics too. And remember, yes, no more MRIs for us. Yeah, I know, right? We have to have a thing. What's going on?
I just got finished watching a movie on the VR.
Oh, yeah, that thing makes you feel weird. Pixie watched a movie on the VR. If y'all have ever used a virtual reality to watch a movie, I can't do it. I tried to watch Nashville on VR. I was like, they're too close, too close to me. Okay, so after reading, and I'm going to read you a couple more of these comments. Now, and again, thank y'all for sharing. Those of y'all that are sharing, we are going to be shipping out a TP for y'all to paint for one of y'all. So thank y'all so much for sharing. And then really, guys, I'm going over questions y'all have about supplies. Terry says, only 4 ladies. I had several cancellations that night. Terry, did they already prepay? Because you will get less cancellations if they prepay. And that video is going to be coming out next Thursday. Lisa says, you are just a blessing, sweet lady. Oh, thank you. Thank y'all for sharing, by the way. Okay, so yeah, so as I was going through these comments, let's see, I want to be an artist creator. How do I teach a technique I don't have? So for that question, remember, we are teaching fun art, not fine art. You know, Painting with a Twist said that, and they have totally paved the way for people like you and me. The very first Painting with a Twist was opened in 2007. Guys, it's just over 10 years. This is all so brand new, and there's a whole world out there of people who still haven't painted. I taught at a paint party last night, and there were 2 of those people that had never painted before. So it's just so crazy to me that people think that it's oversaturated. Here's the thing, when they're everywhere, when I have a Painting with a Twist in my town, I have a Board and Brush in my town, less than a mile from my house. I don't look at it as, oh my gosh, that's bad. I look at it as, yay, we're still relevant, and the way I teach people is to not be a sitting duck. And if you are not getting my emails, you are going to want to get Monday's email. So make sure you can go in the link and get the book. It's an instant download. Check your spam if it doesn't come straight to you, because on Monday, I'm going to teach you how to book a paint party fast, like way fast, probably so fast that you're going to be like, hold on, Heidi, I'm not ready for this, because it will work. It works. I'm not lying. This is exactly what I do. Anytime I am running low on paint parties, I first pray for opportunities, and then second, I do exactly what I'm going to tell you on Monday. So make sure you do that. So you're not teaching, just normal, like you're not teaching these really hard paintings. Another thing she talked about, I was saying it's more like craft projects than art projects. I actually, in Paint Party headquarters, my membership that I open a couple times a year, I give women rights. I have around 200 members in that Paint Party headquarters, and every month they get rights to an on-trend painting. So they don't even have to, all the guesswork's out. So if somebody's working full-time and they just want to schedule a paint party a month to pay for Christmas, paint party a month to pay for a summer house vacation like Kelly in our Paint Party headquarters does, then she just puts that money aside, and then she has all her money for summer. But here's the thing, guys, that stuff is just hand delivered. So I love that, because people make it way too hard. And I know that from experience, because that was my 2 biggest challenge when I was doing this, for years now. My 2 biggest challenge I kept running into was, number 1, I would struggle so much to get new designs ready. Does anybody else struggle with that? Like trying to come up with a new design, trying to come up with something people would paint. That was my number 1 struggle. My number 2 struggle was marketing. I finally figured it out, okay? So that's what Paint Party Headquarters do is all about. And I'll talk more about that later next week. But Paint Party Headquarters gives, marketing packs and social media hacks and all that to solve those problems so it's done quick. You can just go for it. Another person says, let's see, I am very close to taking the plunge and hosting my first paint party. As soon as my schedule is open and decide what to paint. Again, deciding what to paint. Michelle says, hey, hello Heidi, thank you so much for this video. Can't wait to see the others. I read where you get the wood at, which is going to be the question I had, which is Craft Creations. And again, they're donating one of these to somebody who helped share the Wonderlist. So make sure you're, oh, thank you, Tanya. She says your book is so helpful. Yeah, this book is, it's a short read. So I've had a couple people reply back and go, oh, I can't wait to read it. No, just read it. It does not take you long. And it's an instant download, but double check your spam because it's a little sneaky, that email. It goes in the spam. She says, she goes, can't wait to see where to get the wood. My other question, how do I teach people to paint like a pumpkin when I can't even paint a pumpkin? Or that farm truck, how do we paint something like that? So I love that question because first off, Michelle, I teach you that, okay? My video tutorials are step-by-step and you have to remember it's for beginner painters. Some of the people who are in Paint Party Headquarters or who have learned with me, they, like Brenda, she had only painted 5 paintings. She's a grandma and she wanted to basically fund a passion project. She actually made enough money teaching paint parties just using my tutorials because again, I'm teaching beginners how to paint. So when you see me post paintings of, painting events, a lot of those women have never painted before. And so if I can teach them, I can teach you. And then if you do it with my video tutorial, then you can teach them. And guess what? I hardly ever paint at my events anymore. I show a technique. Hey, take a little yellow, take a little orange. Let's blend and pull. Blend and pull. And then I go around and help. Okay, guys, let's fill in the middle with brown. I go around and help. So you really have to just, have a passion for serving people. I think that's the biggest thing. And being organized, all of that good stuff is fun too. Tanya says, yes, new designs is my main issue right now. Yeah, when I was working full-time especially, that's what I really struggled with because I'm like, I couldn't think. I'm teaching 850 kids a week. I just didn't even have time to think. So I think that's what people really love the most is just getting, they have rights to my paintings right away. They have pictures of them. They can take them and book parties right away without ever having to paint it. Then when they book a party, then when they get prepaid painters, now they got to paint it, right? Now they got to know what it is. Helen says, I like really detailing stuff. How do I make my art simpler? Helen, I was with you, so I used to put a lot of extra. Here's the thing, when you're teaching paint parties, you have to get used to a little bit of a different style. Now, I still have some styles that have more details, but you have to remember, they're not coming for a fine art lesson, okay? So many people, when they finally get this, and then I'm gonna go over this before I do the brown. So many people feel like they're trying to teach an art lesson like an art teacher. That's not what you're doing. Once, and I was an art teacher for 10 years. So it did for a little bit take me by surprise too. Like I was trying to be way too complicated. So if you're way too complicated, what happens is your beginner people are stressed out. When it goes on to 2.5, 3.5 hours long, they're exhausted. They just wanted to come, have some chips and dip, hang out with their friends, paint a little sunflower and go home. Get away from the kids, have a night with their girls. They did not want to go there and take a serious fine art lesson, right? It's a different way of thinking. Now, once you get a solid base of customers, if you have a small section of them that want to do more intense paintings, that's fine. Maybe then you offer it up. But when you're first starting this, simpler is better, okay? So I'm going to talk because we have had so many, by the way, thank y'all for all the comments on these videos and just all the sharing and all of the great stuff y'all been doing. Okay, so she says, Carrie says, I love your videos and enthusiasm. I have taught art lessons in the past. However, it was along the lines of fine art. I feel teaching paint parties is going to be a better fit. I teach special education in a high school in Indiana, and school ends soon, so I want to teach over the summer and keep on going. One of the groups I want to teach is something in their families. Oh, hold on, autocorrect. Veterans and their families. My son has deployed several times, so I understand the stress. Bless you for all you do. Thank you, Carrie, for that comment. So we have a lady, I believe her name's Sue, that's in Paint Party headquarters that does a lot of veterans events. And she's actually going to be doing a guest painting. There's a really awesome painting that she has. And that's the thing, too. Like, I love having guests come in so that it's not just my art. So we have a lot of different art to choose from. But she does some veteran paintings, and I think it's really great. I'm actually going to the American Legion for the second time to teach paint party events. What are you working on? Did you take my frame? Oh, okay, good. I just bought a new frame, and Pixie's on the other side of this working on something. What are you making?
I'm making a watercolor glass.
Oh, a watercolor glass. Yeah, if you saw the other side of this art studio, you would be like, oh my gosh. It's like a tornado hit behind this camera. It's pretty bad. Okay, Tangela says, I just posted my praise report. Oh, yay, Tangela, what did you have? Do you want to post it in here? Okay, I'm going to go through this one right here. Okay, so I was looking up something for y'all based on the comments that I keep getting. And I really, those of you that are struggling with imposter syndrome, those of you feeling like you have to know everything before you get started, I just want to give you some peace of mind. Number one, you are going to learn so much as you take action, I promise. Number two, your anxieties are going to start to go away as you take action, I promise. I still get anxiety, but once I'm in motion, it seems like they go away. It does. So I wanted to read this one to you. This one's from April 9th, Jesus Calling. If you've never, Tangela says it's long. I'll read it in the group, don't worry. I'll go in there in a little bit. It says, don't practice your problems. So a lot of y'all that were commenting was all about, I don't know if I'm good enough. I don't know if I can teach the art lesson. All of these fears, right, that are coming up. Now, if you are watching this and you're excited and you feel like in your gut, oh my gosh, I can do this. Or maybe you've taught a few paint parties, but now you've had some cancellations, so it's brought you down. It's all about marketing tweaks, okay? But I want you to know if this is something you're passionate about, don't be scared, okay? And here's what it says. Exodus 33:14 says, the Lord replied, my presence will go with you and I will give you rest. It says, everywhere you go, I go. Nothing can separate you from my love. I love you so much that I even gave my life for you. You can trust me to take care of you. Sometimes though, and remember this is the kids version, so it might go into some schoolwork, just, related to paint parties. Sometimes though, when you aren't really focusing on me, you start to rehearse and practice your problems. Does anybody do that? Guilty. You start to rehearse and practice your problems, going over them again and again in your mind. What will you do about that grade, which we're going to say paint party? What would you do about that paint party, this friendship, or that temptation? You start to feel alone and worried. Then you try to fix it yourself. But you are never alone because my presence goes with you wherever you go. There is no need to worry, and you don't have to fix anything by yourself. Bring your problems to me. In my presence, many problems simply vanish, and others become much easier to handle. Don't practice your problems. Practice bringing your problems to me, okay? Easier said than done. And in Romans 8:38 and 39, and again, those of you that have the imposter syndrome of teaching paint parties, I totally have the imposter syndrome of reading scripture. But again, my word of the year is obedience. So when I feel like God's saying, yeah, you can help answer these questions just by showing them this, my stomach hurts for a minute, right? And then I'm like, okay, it's obedience. I'm just going to do what you say. And maybe somebody out there is helping you. And also in here, just this right here, it says, in my presence, many problems simply vanish and others become much easier to handle. Remember I told you all about how I struggle so much with anxiety? But when I start to take action or I start to bring my attention off of myself and serving others, my anxiety goes away. And it is the weirdest thing. I can be like, so freaked out, and then all of a sudden I start to take action. But the worrying about, the practicing my problems, that's when I start to freak out. So if you're somebody like me and you're really kind of, having that problem with anxiety, make sure you move into action. And I like to say inspired action. When you're inspired, take action then before your brain catches up and scares you. Okay, so Amanda says, what's the kids' book you're reading from? So this is Jesus Calling. You can get it at any bookstore. If you go to my website, I have Heidi's favorites. You can look on there and grab it too. Okay, so Romans 8, 38, and 39. And then this is just my Bible. It's a new international version. I've had it forever. You can tell it's like wrote in and ripped and all kinds of stuff. Romans 8, 38, and 39. Here we go. It says, for I am convinced that neither death nor life, neither angels nor demons, neither the present nor the future, nor any powers, neither height nor depth, nor anything else in all creation will be able to separate us from the love of God that is in Christ Jesus our Lord. So, I don't know about y'all, but that makes me feel like so much better. I don't know about y'all. Does that make you feel better? The other day, it was so crazy. We were hiking over in Mineral Wells. They have like a state park, and I didn't even realize they had rock climbers there. And we were watching the rock climbers, and then we were walking down this path, and there was like so many trees, and all of these just leaves and flowers and all of that.
Silkworms.
Oh, there were silkworms too. Pixie wanted to yell out. But there were all these, trees and flowers, and I just, I think there's a passage in the Bible, and I don't remember which one it was for sure. But it talked about how God provides for the birds, and why would He not provide for us? Whenever He provides so much for them. And I just thought about just the overwhelming just abundance of all of these leaves and all of this craziness of this not a forest, but all these trees right by this lake. And I thought, man, there's always opportunities. There's always something out there. And I think sometimes if we're negative, we look and there's no paint parties. There's too many people out there doing it. There's no way to do it. Nobody's going to hire me. There's somebody down there better than me. If we're always looking at it like that, then our brain takes over and we literally get paralyzed. We cannot, well, not literally, but we're paralyzed. We can't move. We can't take action because we are terrified, and our brain can do a number on us. And I think it is so important to manage that, to be wise enough to go God has huge things planned for me. And how dare I put those fears in and not be able to do what I'm supposed to do? So just like me right now, that scares the crap out of me, reading the Bible in here, because I know I'm not educated enough for that. That's not what I didn't go to school for that. I went to school and got my communications degree. Oh, and by the way, I don't have an art degree. So those of you thinking, well, she was an art teacher, she must have an art degree. I don't. I have my marketing degree, a communication degree, an associate's in art, which was just a very few art classes. And mostly self-taught. Don't worry, kids. If you're watching, parents, I was certified and still am certified in several states because I taught art online. I went back and took the 1-year certification thing. But yeah, my minor's in psychology. So you don't have to, be this certified art instructor to do that, So it's just all about being obedient to what God tells you to do. I need to get a different color brown for the center. I'm going to double check y'all's questions real quick. Let's see. The Holy Spirit takes over your fear because of your obedience. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it, Nana? It's like when you're in certain situations, you know, it's like God, you know, God steps in. He always steps in. And Tangela says, I had a mental clutter all my life. I had a hard time focusing on tasks outside of art, and I could only focus on art that told stories, illustrated moments with words. That's pretty awesome about the illustrated. So she says, I had a mental clutter all my life. I had a hard time focusing on tasks outside of art, and I could only focus on art that told stories, illustrated moments with words. I thought I might need to get tested for adult ADD because of all the mental clutter or confusion and clutter. Tangela, I think it's us being creative. Because I like literally my brain is all over the place. I mean, I write notes on my hands continually. I have stacks of papers, and I have so many art journals with all my different ideas. And, you know, used to I thought that was kind of like a hindrance, you know, Tangela, and anybody else that feels like that. And then I started realizing, like, God makes us all different. I mean, it says in the Bible, like, you know, we each have a spiritual gift. We each have something that we're supposed to do, whether we're the encourager, whether we're the giver, whether we're the whatever. You know, we each have to do something for the body of Christ. We can't all do the same thing or it wouldn't work, right? And so I think, you know, a long time I kind of battled with that too and thought, what is wrong with me? Like, why can't I stay focused, or why can't I do this? And then I started thinking, you know, our brains are wired differently, whether you're a crafter or a creative or an artist, you know, somebody who likes to make things and put things together. You know, our brains are wired different. I mean, my husband's a perfectionist, type A personality, and I'm like a disaster, you know. I mean, we're total opposites. And I mean, sometimes I can't even walk in here and I'm like, why am I like this, you know? And I just surround myself with paints and glitters and I can't get out. It's like, you know, one of those Hoarders episodes. I surround myself with all of it, and then I can't move, you know, but I love it. You know, sometimes it gets to me, but I think we have to figure out how to use it for good. How can we take this creative brain? You know, a lot of times what I'll do is, because we feel like so much is coming at us, I'll just, you know, especially ideas that I feel like, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to do that, you know, because we have 1,000 ideas a minute, you know, we're going to do this, do that, we must do this, we must do that. And I just used to be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to, you know, freak out. Like, I got to get all this out. Like, it's got to be done. And then it hit me. It's like, just write it all down. And then really pray and focus on, like, what are you supposed to do? For example, I have 1,000 ideas right now. I have several things that I want to do. But in order to teach you how to make money teaching paint parties, I have to streamline, or you're not going to know what the heck I'm talking about. You're going to be like, she's talking about cooking today. I mean, if you look back at my past videos, I did a video doing butterbeer. Like, let's make some butterbeer today. Butterbeer, I mean, it's delicious, but that has nothing to do with teaching you how to do paint parties. So I understand the total ADD squirrel. That's part of our charm. So I think, Tangela, try to embrace it and try to harness that for good, you know? I'm going to use a dark chocolate with a little bit of white. And let me know if you have any questions about supplies. I'm going to be on here just a little bit longer. Helen says, curious about the lettering on the TP painting. Is it stencil or handwritten? And this is a stencil that I made with my US cutter, but you could just print off a piece of paper, and you could just use carbon copy. You know, I use carbon copy and then just trace over it. I've done that at a lot of my parties too. Tangela says, don't limit God. He has unlimited resources and ideas. I know, when I was looking at those trees and just thinking, like, how many leaves were on those trees, and I kind of related it to opportunities. Like, when I saw that and saw how well he's taking care of trees, and they're, you know, just God's gift to us, right? And I just thought, oh my gosh, if, you know, all of that is happening, you know, all the time. I mean, how much more is he going to take care of us, you know, with all of those opportunities? And I don't know, it just, sometimes nature just kind of puts me in my place and humbles me, because it just makes me think like we're really special, you know, like we have a big role to play. Okay, Nana says, let go, let God is what I think of when I'm nervous. Yes, that's a good sign to have as a painted prayer. Oh, I think I'm gonna sneeze. I'm gonna try not to. They're very... Oh, excuse me. It's coming back. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Sometimes they're very embarrassing sneezes, so I got lucky. Okay, yeah, that's just the creative mind. That's what Amanda says. Let me know if you are new to this page. And if you are new, just know Texas Art and Soul on YouTube. I have a zillion videos for you. And then also Monday, the How to Book a Paint Party Fast is coming out. You're going to love that. Tanya says, as people tell stories, my brain draws pictures in my mind of what is being said. I learned best with pictures and drawings. When I was with that comedian tonight, that's exactly what I was doing. He was talking about some stuff and I was just like, right in my head. It was all just visual. Yeah, we are a special breed. And if you're a person who wants to start a paint party business, you're even another special breed, because you're an entrepreneur too. And it's so funny because, you know, there's not a lot of entrepreneurs out there. And I went to a conference several years ago, and I remember I was at this business conference and I called my husband on break, and I was like, it was about 65 people there, and I was like, oh, I found my people. They all think like I do. I mean, I was just so happy because everybody I was around was just the typical, you just, go to work, you come home, you eat dinner, you watch TV, you go to bed. You get up, you go to work, you come home, you eat dinner, you watch TV, you go to bed. Like, that's, a lot of the people that I was around, and I was like, there's got to be more. There's got to be more to this life. I know I'm supposed to do more. I know there's other things that are supposed to happen. Like, this can't be it. And I remember, just listening to these other people and these bigger dreams that I'd ever thought were possible. And just calling him and being like, there's other people out there like me. I'm not alone, and it just felt so good. To know that, everybody has a purpose. I'm not saying, if you're that person that goes to work, comes home, eats dinner, watches TV, and goes to bed and does it again, that there's anything wrong with that. But this creative ADD brain could not do that. I just was going nuts. I almost felt like I was just trapped, and then once I could express this and know that it was God's purpose for me too, not just to do it for my own wanting to do it as selfish reasons, but he made us different for a reason. Let's see. Life would be so boring if we were all pre-planning robots. Yes, that is the truth. The ideas are good, but they had no root, no direction, because I wasn't clear about who I am. Now that I know, it doesn't look like chaos anymore. That is a beautiful, beautiful paragraph, Tangela. I love that. Now that you know, it doesn't look like chaos anymore. Wow, that's a deep thought right there. Okay, let's see. Bless you. Squirrel, yep, I can totally relate to these days. Embracing it, that's awesome. That's how I feel listening to you. I am so excited. Oh, good. Yeah, I just get so excited. And I just wanted to answer a few of your questions. I know that book, if you don't have the book yet, it's on the link in the description. If you don't have the book yet, I know it has a lot of details. In that video, I also put the direct link to that video. I'm using a metallic aged bronze. If you've never used this before, it is so much fun. I use a lot of metallics in my paint parties. But yeah, guys, the video is only 29 minutes long. If you have not seen it yet, I highly recommend you watch it, okay? Because you're going to get a lot of information. And like I said, it's only going to be out about 8 days, and then it goes away. And then here's another tip for sunflowers. Make sure you dip the back of them, and then you can go crazy. I mean, I could put green on here if I wanted. I can just do, whatever else I want. But I'm going to put some gold dots in the center. And then like I said, for those of you, like I could put, you know, a stencil that says, you know, grateful or thankful or something like that. And, oh, hold on. I gotta hit this on the ground. It's gonna be loud for just a second. Sorry about that. It's like sometimes these metallics, this one's a gold. So Terry says, where did you get that board? So this one my husband made, but you can order them from, it's just some wood from Lowe's, but you can order them from Craft Creations. They're the ones that's gonna give one of these away to some of y'all that are sharing, so thank you. We're gonna pick a winner, and we have a really fun next Sunday on Mother's Day. Not this Sunday, but next Sunday. I am having a birthday party for the 1-year anniversary of Paint Party Headquarters. So I'm going to be doing some giveaways. I'm going to be, you know, painting with y'all, doing some really cool stuff. So make sure 7 p.m. Central, you set your alarm for Mother's Day. So I know it's Mother's Day. So, you know, have dinner, do whatever you're going to do, and then be ready at 7, especially if you're wanting to come learn some painting stuff and celebrate. And then we're going to be talking about some fun stuff. So all I'm doing is the back of the brush. Yay, paint party. Yes, it is a Paint Party Headquarters birthday bash. I like that.
I need to spray this outside really quick. I'm just going to go on the porch. It's clear.
Don't do it on the porch. Do it on the grass. Pixie spray painting. That's what we do here on Friday nights. We are late night painters. Tonight we're really late night painters. I get to sleep in the morning, so I am excited. Oh yeah. Yeah, okay, so something fun to do with your daughters, granddaughters, a friend. I used to do this in my 20s by myself. No shame, I'm not gonna lie and pretend like I didn't. But I do this with Pixie now about every 3 months. It's kind of silly, but it's so fun. So I take her to Dillard's, and we basically go to the prom section of the juniors department, and we pick out about 20 dresses. We make sure to put them all up because we don't want to cause any trouble for any workers. And this is a gold. I really like the 24 karat gold better, but all I'm doing is taking some gold and just kind of going on top of it. But we really, we just go try on dresses and just pretend like we're going to take over the world in a cruise dress. And then we put them all back up on the shelf, on the rack where they go. And we just have so much fun. And then we usually go to Barnes and Nobles and we drink coffee and we read books, and it's just a good time. We get re-inspired. We dream about places we could wear these awesome dresses. And sometimes I think I have a post on some of the dresses we did. So if you want to go back to my Texas Art and Soul, you can read about, and I have several pictures of us in the dresses, but it is so much fun. Oh my gosh, so much fun. And tomorrow I think you're bringing a friend, so we're going to have an extra little prom dress person. So you can get crazy with this. You could do leaves and all of that, but remember, keep them simple. Keep your design simple. So I just want to recap real quick because we talked about a lot of stuff. Robin says, shared live listening to you talk about God in your business and life. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so I'm just going to recap. So we talked about God in business. I was answering some questions on some supplies. And number one, pray for your business, pray for opportunities, okay? When I was doing, getting things ready, even for Paint Party Headquarters, again, this is the 1-year anniversary on Mother's Day. So a big birthday party. So make sure you're here on Mother's Day, 7 p.m. And make sure you're getting the email for Monday. It's going to really help you. If you take action on what I show you on Monday, you will have results like within that day or within a couple days. It's crazy. So number one, pray for opportunities, okay? Those of you that, and I'm not trying to be mean, okay? I hope you are taking this with the best heart, but don't sit there and tell yourself, wah, wah, nobody's gonna hire me, wah, wah, there's a painting with the twist down the road. I've heard it all, okay? I've lived several places. I have many people in Paint Party Headquarters that started a business here, moved states away. You know, Julie, she was helping like a paint night, and then she moved to a whole different state, started a whole new business. So it can work anywhere. I actually personally don't think you should revolve your business around your friends and family. That is not a long-term success strategy. It is not. Just saying. So make sure you watch the video number 2 on Monday. If you need to download anything, right here in the description, it'll make sure you'll get the ebook instantly. It may go to your spam, so pull it out of your spam, and then it's going to give you access to the video on Monday. Also, pray for those opportunities. Number 2, choose a word and reflect on that word. Okay, so choose a word. Mine is obedience for this year, and one of the things with obedience was to not drink it all this year. I've taken 1 shot of whiskey. That was at my friend's wedding, and it wasn't for celebration reasons. It was because I was so sick and I could not talk at all, and I was dying, and I couldn't even speak. And they're like, just take a sip of whiskey, and my voice did come back. It was crazy.
That helps?
Yeah.
Oh, then okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want you, my 12-year-old, taking a shot of whiskey right now, but it did help. I was doing tea. I was drinking so much tea. I was so sick. My friend Allison, oh man, I feel for her. She was such a trooper. But yeah, so that is the only thing, and it wasn't even for like, you know, hey, I'm drinking. It was like, I can't talk. What can I do? And I was on my like 3rd day of no talking. So yeah, so that is the only thing. But besides that, like my word of the year, obedience. So I think just listening to God and know where you're at. Last year, our word of the year was adventure. My word was. And so everything was about like, you know, swimming in springs, which I did that this year too. I'm going to try to swim in springs anytime I can. I think that's just fun. That's just good. That's just good sense. When you can swim in a spring, you swim in a spring. Mm-hmm. And then number 3, put God first, and how can you use your talents to serve Him? So think of those things as you're running your business. Just think of those things. You know, when you put God first and you pray for these ladies coming to your party, it becomes more than just about making money. It becomes like a passion. It becomes something, you know, you're making a difference at. So I want you to remember those things, and I want you to download the ebook. If you have not got my emails yet, share this with the artsy or crafty friend. Remember, these 3 videos for Paint Party Revolution will only be available for about a week. Then they are taking off the interwebs. So make sure you are getting them. And please feel free to message me if you have questions, or put a comment below, and I will try to check those tomorrow. All right, guys, I hope y'all had a great night, and let me know what you think of the video. Just please put a comment if you like this, if you want to see more of this. And also, please put a comment on what you want me to paint next. I'm going to be painting all week different things. And I have so many things up my sleeve, but I'd love to hear what you want me to paint. I'm going to be painting some giant stuff.
You should paint Simba.
Oh, I should paint Simba. As long as I don't sell it, I can do that. Simba was one of my very first murals. I'm kind of addicted to the Lion King. Helen says, persistence is my word of the year, and it's paying off. And I have been persistently keeping up with you, Heidi. I think God helped me find you. Oh, thank you, Helen. Where do you find the videos? Shannon says, love this. Thank y'all for watching, and thank y'all for sharing. Y'all are amazing. So to find the videos, I put the direct link to the 29-minute video all on supplies. You are going to love it. Don't wait to watch it. Like, get off here in just a second when I close this, and just go to the description on this Facebook Live, and you will see the 29-minute video. It's going to give you so much information on supplies, so take notes. And then it's also going to give you instant download to this, which again, it will go in spam. So check it and move it out of spam, so that way you can get Monday's email. If you don't get an email from me on Monday at 10 a.m., contact me, because that is the one where you will take action and see results. It is crazy. Like, we did a challenge in Paint Party headquarters, and I was like, okay, this is what we're doing. All right, let's do it. And we all did it. And then all of a sudden, everybody's like, oh, I just booked 10 parties. I'm like, stop booking parties. You have enough booked. Let's get prepaid painters, which that video is coming on Thursday. So make sure you tag a friend, an artsy friend, and let them know before these videos go away. All right, guys, it's been so much fun. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see y'all later. Bye.